first to call onto the stage the two lead actresses, Natasha Negovanlis and Elise Bauman, to receive the Brand Content of the Year Award. So please join me in welcoming Elise and Natasha.
All right, and now let's take an even closer look at Carmilla.
There's a crisis in advertising. Most young people worldwide wouldn't care if 3/4 of brands disappeared tomorrow. The advertising model that once gave brands and advertisers control no longer does. The consumer now controls what they see, when they see it, where they see it, and how they see it. So how can brands connect? Entertainment is one of the most effective ways to reach this audience. It's about creating impactful content and an ongoing dialogue with consumers through entertaining storytelling. Kimberly Clark's You by Kotex was looking for a marketing strategy that would break through to millennial women. Enter Carmilla, a digital series spearheaded by You by Kotex Canada and produced by Shaftesbury. The Carmilla story is everywhere. A true transmedia brand, Carmilla crosses YouTube, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram, among other platforms, with immersive social media campaigns and global fan-generated content. The US You by Kotex team came on board for Season 2, recognizing the series' fan spillover effect into their marketplace. But the fans still wanted more. To sustain the fandom and maintain brand loyalty for You by Kotex, the world of Carmilla expanded to include a feature film, a love letter to the fans. 30% of the film's budget came from fan pre-sales. The Carmilla movie has received international acclaim, screening at film festivals and fan conventions across North America, Europe, and Australia. And You by Kotex product extensions and Carmilla merchandise have grossed over $750,000 in sales. Carmilla has exploded into a global brand that continues to grow.
It was announced recently that a popular web series about a lesbian vampire will be turned into a feature film.
This award-winning series has been viewed in almost 200 countries and translated into over 20 languages. As a testament to the power of Carmilla's fandom, Carmilla stars Elise Bauman and Natasha Negovanlis have become international stars and influencers in their own right. They both have won the Fan Choice Award at the Canadian Screen Awards. In back-to-back wins, fans have voted for the Carmilla stars over the country's broadcast and film stars. Carmilla has put branded entertainment on the map, offering a new funding model, solving the advertising dilemma, and by creating a new way to tell scripted stories. Carmilla has created a massive franchise for Shaftesbury and created lifelong brand advocates for You by Kotex.
Damn, I will buy your tampons forever and ever until I hit menopause, like forever.
This shows that niche marketing works, that branded marketing works, and it obviously touches a lot of people and means a lot to them, so Carmilla's awesome.
Yeah.
This is Carmilla.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations on winning Brand Content of the Year for Carmilla. That's amazing. And one thing that I wanted to just talk about with Carmilla is that, what you didn't see from the promo is that Carmilla is a series that talks about the story of a college student whose world is turned upside down when a vampire moves into her dorm room. And the show was a global phenomenon, engaging fans across the world in really deep, meaningful relationships, winning critical acclaim and awards, such as a Streamy Award out of the US, and most importantly, an unprecedented partnership with You by Kotex. And I know that Elise and Natasha, you had a couple words you wanted to say to the parent company, Kimberly Clark, about the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. On behalf of Shaftesbury and Kimberly Clark and the entire cast and crew of Carmilla, we're just so thrilled to be here, and we thank you so, so much for this award. It really is an honor.
The series has had such an impact on people's lives, and we're really thrilled to be part of something that's so daring, authentic, and innovative. You know, a show about vampires from a company that makes tampons. It's kind of genius.
That it is. Now let's hear from our executive producer.
We'll roll the tape.
Hello everyone. I'm Fiona Tomlin, Vice President of our Global Adult and Feminine Care business here at the Kimberly Clark Corporation. Please accept my sincere apologies for not being able to attend in person to accept this award for Kotex. Thank you very much to MIPTV and the conference for putting this great content and the Kotex brand on the map.
Okay, so Karn.
Yes.
For the producers and content creators here in the room, What was unique about this new type of partnership with Kimberly Clark, and why do you think this is maybe the new beginning in a future way of doing business with brands?
Well, I know we've got different people in the audience from different backgrounds, so I thought for the next 5 minutes we could all imagine that we are working for a brand and get that in our head that we are working for a brand, and that might be You by Kotex. Now, if you're not familiar with You by Kotex, it's as we've learned, a tampon company, but it's only been around since 2010. So it's a fairly new brand, and it's competing in a very competitive space. So when they launched, they decided, rather than coming out with the white box and the girl skipping along the beach, they went, why not come out with something really different? So they came out with a black box. They really shook up the industry. But it's hard. And as we sit in our office every day, our job now is we've got to figure out how are we going to get young women to listen to us? How are they going to trust us if they're not even paying attention to what we're doing? So the main thing that we're seeing is people don't want to see ads. And as brand managers, since we're all working here, we know that that's been our go-to. For years, we've just created 30-second ads and put them on, and we get our reach, and we get the ability to tell people about how great our product is and why it's different from everybody else. We can't do that anymore with young people. We all heard that they're blocking the ads, they're skipping through things, they're on social. I know with teenagers, they're checking Snapchat like 150 times a day. Like, how are you honestly gonna connect with them?
Yeah.
And I think our challenge now as brand managers is we've got to start changing that conversation. So one day, in our office, we get approached about the idea of creating something different. Rather than pushing our product out to them, which is what we've done forever, we were told, why not entertain them first? Give them something of value, and then they'll consider your product. And we can prove this now. I mean, we're sitting here on this stage because we did something different. And this brand is a brave brand, and that was a really big part of what they did. As the idea of creating great characters that I love, great stories with cliffhangers that I can't wait to see what happens next. So imagine now a young person watching that and seeing a different way than just pushing out their product. That's going to change everything.
So with a brand like Kimberly Clark, who's really driving the story development? Is it the brand or is it the production company?
I get asked that question all the time, Drew, and I'm sure everybody here is asking the same question. Like, okay, I got this great story. Where can I find a brand that will buy my story?
Or is the brand just going to tell you what to do and then you just execute as like a branded content studio?
Yeah, no, it's both. I mean, you've got to really be open to this discussion, but I think we've kind of solved it, and I'm going to show you a very simple trick, and then you're all going to know how to talk to brands. We started developing this. It's called... we use this whole idea of the brand archetype. And if you're not familiar with archetypes, really each one represents a certain value that I care about as a brand. It represents my attitude to the world, my behaviors. It represents everything. And if I'm a good brand, which the ones I've got up here on the screen are you all know these brands, they've done a great job of positioning themselves in the marketplace. But they mean something to consumers right away. They see it and they know. And I think that's important because the story must align to their values. It's no longer about putting my logo. I don't care about, as a young person watching it, I don't care about your logo.
Right.
I don't care about your product. But I care about what you stand for. I care about your purpose. Do you stand for something as a brand? So the example that we like to give is, if you took Cadillac, for example, that's a ruler brand. You've made it when you're driving a Cadillac in the US. So the story has to reflect that. It's got to be a ruler story. Versus the Explorer, like a Jeep. I mean, can you instantly imagine the Jeep? That's an Explorer brand. I'm gonna get in that car, and the story has to respect that relationship. Versus the regular guy. I mean, you can instantly hear the kind of car that would be. Toyota. Toyota is a regular guy. There's more Toyotas, I think, in the US than anywhere else, any other car. That story could be a family comedy. So you see how I'm starting to peel back the layers of this and making it really simple then for brands. When you have a story, you have to understand what your story is all about. What do you stand for? What are your values of the characters? And then I can place them in this line.
So then for a brand and for the production company, what is the actual return on investment, and how are you evaluating that?
That's another fantastic question. And I think really when it comes down to it, again, knowing that a lot of you are producers, what you care about is you want to make sure your ratings are increasing. You want to see that people are actually talking about your show, and they care about your show, and the brand's the same. They want to know, is this show going to increase my brand awareness? Are more people going to know about it? Do more people care about my brand because of this show? And ROI is, you'll never get anywhere with brands unless you can prove that. And what we've done for the last 4 years is we do pre and post research. It has to be qualified. You have to do something that shows them that you're understanding what the brand was like before the content was created and what happened after. And that's a picture, which I think is crazy, at one of the events that you guys were at, where this woman went with a,
yeah, I was trying to figure it out for a second. I was like, what exactly is going on in this picture?
Well, she actually created a You Buy Kotex box and put it on, like, she made that, put it on her head and wore it around at a Comic-Con or one of the shows. And again,
I've heard of some Halloween costumes too that have been going around.
But it's that, you know, we can show that. And again, views are only, they don't mean as much to people. It has to be more intrinsic. Again, going back to my value as a brand. So can you change that? So I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's working because people are adopting the brand through their love of the series. I mean, this is insane, but amazing. So specifically for Kimberly Clark, what is the, you know, what was the impact of the series for the brand?
Well, I think it'd be great if we could just roll a video now and hear from Fiona herself.
Okay, let's do it.
So our brand embarked on a new approach to reach, engage and attract our consumer target through branded content. Carmilla was a unique and bold story that was a natural fit for the You Buy Kotex brand in Canada. Carmilla acted as an introduction to the brand, encouraging trial and increasing brand perception, with 61% of the audience claiming to have bought and tried You Buy Kotex as a result of the series. The brand also experienced a positive lift of plus 34% in purchase consideration among Carmilla fans versus non-Carmilla fans, and a strong unaided recall with 9 out of 10 viewers properly linking Carmilla to the You Buy Kotex brand. The ever-changing media landscape has wreaked havoc on our once proven model for connecting with our consumers, who now have the ability to ignore or even block us out completely. We believe future success is predicated on 2 principles to avoid the shiny object trap. Firstly, we need to win with content by amplifying 4 core areas: creating, producing, distributing and promoting by strengthening our capabilities. Secondly, we need to be economic model driven, returning on our investment.
Okay, so those numbers were kind of amazing. And it almost like flew by because just it was, you know, she just was going through them. But like 61% adoption on the brand, like how exactly are you integrating Kotex into the series? I mean, are you hitting them over the head with it? I mean, 61% is like a huge thing, and then 89% brand recall. It must be like, you know, just Kotex all day long on this series. I don't know, how are you accomplishing this?
Well, imagine there wasn't one tampon in that, right? We didn't have a tampon in there, we didn't have a logo. But we used social and the characters outside of the show. We kept the show pure. We let it be the driver, we call the hero content. And then we took the characters out, and probably one of our most famous ones was, do vampires get their period?
Do vampires get their period?
Yeah.
They do.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying that like the brand never penetrated the sort of envelope of the story?
Yes.
Okay, so there was never any integration into the actual story itself, but so there's all the adoption of that brand and that much brand recall even though the brand was never integrated into the actual content?
Yeah, because you see the love of the content. Again, everybody wants good content, even if they're a young woman. They want to see stories that reflect them. And they're not always seeing it on mainstream. This was bringing them content they'd never seen. And therefore, the brand was associated with it, got the halo effect, as we call it. People loved the brand so much because they brought this great content.
Gotcha. Amazing. So, Christina, your business, Shaftesbury, is a hugely accomplished and well-respected entertainment company with like 30 years of experience producing television for emerging and traditional platforms, and you always seem to be one step ahead of the game. So how exactly do you do your research, do you forecast to understand what the new economic model is so that you can be on top of the new business on the horizon?
Well, I think both producers and broadcasters know our world is changing and it's becoming harder to finance our content than ever before, and all of us are looking for partnerships. So, you know, we've all heard the word co-productions, we're partnering with other countries, but actually we sort of took a page out of brands and content which went right back to soap operas. And brands funded soap operas. They were brought to you by a soap company, a detergent company. And so when Karen came into our company 4 years ago, we were already developing Carmilla. We were already going to go ahead with this soap, in effect, which was this vampire human story based on a novella. And Karen was able to say, I think this actually fits for you by Kotex. So as a producer now, I have no broadcaster. We have 105 episodes. You saw that 192 countries in the world are translated in 22 languages. And as a company now, we have actually we've got a global fandom. That's what we've got. And Natasha and Elise, man, they're traveling all over the place. So what we've done, and again, if you're producers in the room or even broadcasters, we've been able to take an idea and incubate it. We've actually taken it, and it was small, and somebody said this word, and I don't know if anyone picked up. Kimberly Clark is actually an executive producer on this series, and they have back end on this. So it's a whole new economic model, and I'll never forget the time when Karen actually gave Kimberly Clark a check from merch sales, and they actually didn't know what to do with the check. No one had ever given them a check. Never. So Karen actually said, well, why don't you just invest in season 2? So we'll just take
care of that.
Thank you,
no
Karen.
problem.
So really, I think it is, we all know we're trying to find new models, and just in our case, it was about going backwards 50 years. And what I liked about Karen's approach was aligning those brand attributes. So I think the key, and we're going to show you one last video, which is, I think what I've learned as a producer now is creating fandoms, global fandoms. And once you have that as a producer, you got a whole lot of power. So cue up the video.
Thank you very much to the fans that voted, all 80 bajillion of you.
Buckle up, cream puff. We're gonna be in for a long night.
Firstly, thank you to everyone at Shaftesbury for all of your support. Natasha Negovanlis, who was also last year's winner of this award. Thank you to everyone who voted for me in this category.
Firstly, congratulations to the other nominees.
We give a huge round of applause to the cast of Carmilla.
Carmilla's the best. I've come from Adelaide, South Australia.
Columbus, Ohio.
Cheerio to all the UK fans.
It's our launch tonight. It's the launch of Frankie Drake Mysteries.
When I booked the role on a little YouTube series called Carmilla, I would have never imagined standing here. So thank you so much to all of our fans who voted for me.
It seems the notion of ardent followers is something of a modern phenomenon.
Without the support of you, the audience, that series may not have turned into a second season, which turned into a third, which turned into a feature film, and now with the primetime series in development.
To the fans that voted, I can't imagine doing Murdoch Mysteries without you, and I sure as hell wouldn't be standing up here without you. Thank you guys so much.
Great. That's awesome. Okay. So clearly, Elise and Natasha, your fans love you. I mean, I'm a cream puff myself. I'm a big fan, and I just imagine that just must provide for a very exciting life. How's it been like traveling the world and meeting your fans?
Oh, it's completely surpassed our wildest dreams. When I first auditioned for Carmilla, I was familiar with Shaftesbury's work, and I knew that they did great work. But nobody could have imagined how huge this was going to grow. I mean, I didn't even know what a web series was when I auditioned. So it's just really been incredible. We were actually just in Las Vegas a few days ago at Klexicon, which is quickly becoming the world's largest convention for LGBTQ fandom, actually.
Yeah, there's like a huge global queer community for Carmilla, right?
There is, yeah. We were on a panel with over 1,000 fans, and that doubled from the amount of fans we had last year.
So cool.
So it's been completely mind-blowing.
Yeah, and then you get to go to exotic locales like the south of France.
Yeah,
no big deal.
No big deal. And we're heading to Spain in the summer, and then London as well later in the fall. So yeah, it's really been wonderful to get to meet people firsthand, because we have such a global fan base that spreads far beyond North America.
Yeah,
and meet people, diverse people all over the world, and actually getting to see them firsthand and hear from them what the show has meant to them is really, it's so rewarding.
I was surprised to learn that, like, considering it's in English, half of your audience is international.
Yeah, and actually they have translated the show into many different languages.
Yeah, like 20 different languages.
Yeah, through just fans wanting to, allow other fans to see it and be able to understand it.
Oh, that's cool. So it's a fan-powered translation. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for those who don't know, there are a lot of LGBTQ plus themes in the show. And I think this was really a wake-up call for the industry, that it is okay to take a chance on a niche audience. Because as you've seen, they've proven that they are incredibly, incredibly loyal. And I think it was really brilliant and innovative of you by Kotex to take that chance.
Amazing.
As well, yeah.
Well, speaking of You by Kotex, I think it'd be important for us to learn just the 5 key takeaways from Kimberly Clark about their partnership with Carmilla. So let's hear from Fiona.
Introduce the brand organically. Allow the audience to engage and emerge into the storyline before bringing the brand into the mix. Integrate the brand with the series. Avoid traditional integration strategies such as product placement, brand mentions, and instead create branded content that naturally connects with your brand. Frequently and consistently engage with your audience. Continue momentum to grow the fan base by knowing your fan base and talking to them in their own language. Have a solid media strategy. Your media plan needs to align with your brand strategies and objectives to drive growth. Finally, be agile and optimize. Your audience is acting in real time, and you need to be as well to take advantage of social opportunities. It's been a real pleasure to engage with you today on Our Learning on Carmilla. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Fiona, you are so welcome. Okay, so I think we only have a few minutes left, and I think for me, I think that the key takeaway from this session is that the concept of brand content of the year is a complete misnomer, as been revealed through the partnership between Kimberly Clark and Carmilla, because branded entertainment doesn't seem to be branded at all anymore. And instead of being some kind of polemic between the production company and the brand fighting each other to try to create something that sort of falls apart in the middle, now we're seeing this synergy where both parties are winning because they're both bringing their own perspective and resources and allowing the creative side to flourish while still getting the lift from the goodwill from the communities that are built around these new types of engaging content online. So I think in the few 2 minutes that we have left, I just want to ask about down the line, sort of what you have on the horizon and what your future holds in terms of what are you doing coming up?
Well, as I said, we're traveling to a few different countries over the next few months, and I'm also working with Shaftesbury. I was cast in another scripted series that will also hopefully have some brand partnerships.
Does that have a name yet, or?
Yes, it's called The Motorcycle Project.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think I love this whole archetype thing, and I think we'd be the adventure brand. So, looking forward to that.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I did see Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
And I actually came to host Shaftesbury's YouTube channel, which is one of the only YouTube channels that is specifically made for scripted content.
Right.
So I'm the face of KindaTV, where Carmilla plays, and then Shaftesbury also allowed me to step behind the camera and become a producer myself. So it's been a really wonderful mentorship type experience. And I just wrote a show called Clairvoyant, Claire with an E, about two girls who are psychics.
Oh, amazing. Karn.
Yeah, so right now we're just finishing off a project that we're working on with Walmart and Interact called Upstairs Amy, and that was wonderful. Again, in this case, the model was bringing two different brands together that still aligned with their values, and I'm working hard to find brands to work on some of these great projects that we've got going and with the proven track.
Keep inspiring us.
So for Carmilla, it's interesting because we've actually created a brand. Carmilla is now a brand. So publisher came to us, so there's a book that's now been written. It'll go out in the first quarter of 2019. And then as Elise alluded to, we are in development on a primetime series. And we may actually do something a little different with this primetime series. So we're going to go to New York Comic Con, and we might make an announcement there.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I mean, please thank so much to our guests, and thank you so much. Enjoy your MIPTV. Thanks to Fiona and our guests here, and we'll be seeing you around. Congratulations.
Thank you.